indirect heat method here. Indirect meaning the heat source is back here in the back of the pit rather than directly under the meat. And so the chimney works to, to pull the smoke and the heat across the meat. It's just coming in the morning and getting this one started up. It does most of the work. We cook in the other one too. I'll open these doors up and you can see kind of where the cooking trees in there. It's empty now. Of course, all the cooking's done by this time of day usually, except for like on a Saturday when we're real busy and still cooking throughout the day. So what we'll do is we'll just come in, get these opened up, get the fire going real good, and then come through and just, wipe the cook surface down, and then just load it up with briskets, really.
My name is Michael Solomonov. I'm the chef and co-owner of Zahav Restaurant in Philly, and I'm a partner with Stephen Cook for two other restaurants, St, which is a Mexican restaurant, and Percy Street, which hopefully will be opening in a couple weeks.
My name is Steve Cook. I'm a partner in Percy Street BBQ as well as in Zahav Restaurant and St restaurants in Philadelphia.
It makes sense to us if we're going to open a Texas-inspired barbecue restaurant, just sending a bunch of us down to Texas to go eat. That's the kind of research that we do, and that's the basis for our quality control and for our standards.
We decided to take a trip to Texas because for this restaurant, we're not trying to reinvent anything. We're trying to do a fairly faithful take on Texas-style barbecue. So we felt like it was important to go down there and see for ourselves what it was all about.
Everyone has their own interpretation of barbecue because there's a lot of different regions and a lot of different influences. Some is sauce-based, some is spice-rubbed, and I really thought it was important that if we were going to do a barbecue restaurant, that the core team needed to be on the same page for what kind of barbecue we were doing and what our focus was going to be.
We wanted to bring our management, and we wanted to bring our chef, obviously, and partner Erin, and our sous chef, who's going to be opening, and our managers. And then, we have friends and family that sort of get integrated. Part of the reason that we do what we do is because of the relationships we have with everybody. I mean, it's hard to describe, on a busy Saturday night, walking around through a restaurant that's yours. There's an intimacy that you have with your customers, and there's a relationship that you have with the management and the people that are sort of trying to provide this experience. It's important for everybody to be in Texas and to sort of get the vibe. There was hospitality that we received there that you can't reproduce here. We'd like to reproduce. I'm not sure if you sort of got that from some of the people that, that sort of gave us like a tour of their kitchen. I mean, there's something really beautiful about that. I can't really describe it, but that's what we wanted to bring. And it means a lot to our staff, I think, as well. Nobody's ever taken me to a different country or a different state to eat something that they wanted me to reproduce. So we wanted to do that for our staff.
Well, I wasn't in the car that got lost. It's the one that I was driving, minivan A, always got to our location on time, and minivan B was the one that always got lost. So there was a lot of wandering around the back roads of Texas, lost.
We're on 370. This is 370. On the way here, 380. Yeah, it wasn't too far south. What, you mean where we went over the train tracks?
The most important thing that I learned on the Texas trip was that brisket is not an easy thing to pull off. Most of the places served a very dry brisket, which is not our goal here. And it took a while to find the perfect brisket. Eventually, I think we came really close to it, and my goal is to make sure that our brisket is banging.
It's smoky, it's seasoned. I like the brisket.
I love the brisket.
That's why. It's really good. Oh yeah, the bark.
Yeah.
Bark is where it's at.
What I just ate, that brisket was seasoned well. It melted in my mouth.
Did it smoke?
It was, no.
Yeah. This stuff with bark is...
When anything is referred to Texas barbecue, they're talking about brisket. They're talking about salt, pepper, and smoke. And it's just the question of the amount of smoke or the cut of meat that you use.
If only 3 or 4 places out of a dozen in Texas can do good brisket, you know, that must mean it's not that easy to do. So the thing that we liked about these smokers is a lot of the commercial smokers that you can buy are gas-fired, and you know you achieve the smoke through smoked chips or through logs, but with a combination of heat from the gas. And our barbecue pits are going to operate entirely on wood. The wood's going to provide the heat. It's going to provide the smoke. So there's no shortcuts. This is as close as you can get in a commercial setting to the way that they've been doing it in Texas for however long they've been doing it.
We are in Lockhart, Texas, Hill Country.
All in all, my favorite place was Smitty's because of the barbecue. The brisket was by far the best. Walking in there was just like stepping into a time capsule. You know, I mean, the place was like black with smoke on the walls. You walk over to place your order and there's like a live fire a foot away from where you stand. You know, children running around this like fire pit. I mean, it was just so freaking cool.
It was great. That was it. We were getting a little discouraged, definitely, but very happy to find it.
This air, I mean, the air was like literally filled with smoke, and it was like black. The room was black, you know, and the chairs were black, and it just had this sort of like very sterile thing going on, just from, I think, just using dry heat. You know, it just had that sort of dry, smoky thing going on that was like really pure. But where we were eating, I mean, you could have eaten there 50 years ago. It would have been exactly the same.
I want Percy Street to be really casual and really fun. I mean, we always sort of strive to achieve perfect hospitality in our restaurants, but I think in particular at Percy Street, we want it to be a place where people can feel comfortable. You know, the barbecue is not, while we're taking it seriously as a cuisine, it's not super serious food. It's not high tech. It's pretty old school. So we want people to come here and have a good time. You know, drink some beer, eat some meat the way it's been cooked for, you know, thousands of years, and just have a good time.
Another dining experience that that Philly doesn't really have yet, and obviously to have a good time and to eat a lot of brisket, and hopefully leverage a motorcycle out of this deal with my wife.
You can't just throw something together. You have to think about it. And you have to prepare for it, and you have to want to do it in order for it to come out well. And then when you do, and the customers come in or your guests come in and they enjoy their meal and everything goes well, it's fun, you know, at the end you're proud of what you did. And that's where my passion comes from.